In this video, I'm here with Mick Clegg. And Mick, I have three questions for you. And the first one is around concentration. And I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, right? I go into gyms and people are working out and they're nearly on their phone as much in between sets as they are when they're actually doing the sets themselves. And I just wanted to focus maybe on your time at United and maybe the discipline that was really in the gym and maybe the lack of it now. So I just wonder if you have any thoughts on that.
Of course I have. I mean, the gym is about training the brain. It's the brain that's important because it's the brain that makes the physical work. You know what I mean? And there was a struggle at United, but in general, we got a lot of good work done in the right manner. Now, I just go off what's happened since United, how I've created my environment. No mirrors, no music, no TV, and concentrating on your work. That's what it's about. But what do you see? You see people chatting and all this sort of business, listening to, you've got your headphones on now, and they're, oh, I love training with music and all this. There's no concentration whatsoever. So people think they're going in gyms. They think they're going in gyms and actually creating something for football. Because I think that's what we're talking about here, isn't it?
Yeah.
In general, I mean, I've had a gym 40 years and people go in there and do what they want. You know what I mean? With the whatever. But we're talking about concentrated training to be able to take something onto the football pitch. So this is what these people do. I'm going in the gym and I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'll listen to the music. I'll watch the TV. I'll chat to my mates after every set, and I'm going to use this out on the football pitch. They are deluded, and they're deluded by the people who are actually coaching them because they haven't got a clue. They've lost it. What's going on in gyms in football now is ridiculous. Absolutely shocking and ridiculous. I don't know where it's come from, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of harm going on. There's a lot of harm going on in gyms from gyms that are used by professional football clubs. You see, the great thing for me is I'm independent. I have players from Liverpool, Everton, United, City, Derby County, bloody Leeds United. Wherever you want to say, over a year, I get to see all these different players. And guess what? Then I see agents, then I see coaches, then I see flaming scouts. And I have them all come in. I just listen to the stories. And the stories tell me, especially when we're going deeper then into physios and doctors and all the injuries, because there's so much going on that's absolute garbage and nothing to do with football. And if you just start at that words that you say there, concentration, don't do it. No, we need music. No, we need TVs watching birds on the screen and all this business. You know what I mean? We'll do a set that's supposed to be creating something for football. Then we'll have a little chat. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. You've got to concentrate your mind. Out on the football pitch, it's a concentrated mind for at least 90 minutes. You go in the gym, they couldn't concentrate for 90 seconds, never mind 90 minutes. And that's the ludicrous thing that's going on in football. And it's sad because, people are turning up with their kids wanting to play football and they actually send them into these gyms and ending up with kids who are injured. Well, that's not a good thing, is it? Oh, I've got a good kid who's good at football. He goes out playing football, building up, goes playing in the same. Then he goes for strength and conditioning, sports science and all this stuff, and they end up injured. Why? Total lack of concentration. A total knowledge of what you're doing and why you're doing it, how it should be done. Crazy. The world's gone mad. In every single way, the world's gone mad. And it just gets worse.
Yeah, and I did notice, I heard a story about Ronaldo at Juventus when he saw some youth players bringing phones into the gym and he told them, no, you don't bring these in here. And obviously you've worked with Ronaldo, so I guess you can tell his concentration levels, right?
There was never a phone in the gym at United. Never in the flaming memory of man.
That's amazing.
But it's not just phones, you see. TVs and music and flaming, having a laugh and all the rest of it. There's camaraderie and there's talk about specifics, but it's not about laughing a joke. I think that's what they all took wrong when things came out about the gyms, what you should do. We've got an Olympic sports gym over 40 years. People go in there to socialise as well as to train, to put a bit of muscle on, to get a little bit of circulation, get a little bit fitter aerobically or, strength-wise, speed or power. But they're not professionals. They're not in a professional sport. It's part of their activities after work. We're talking here. I'm sure that the reason we're having this conversation is not for people who want to go and do general training for, for happiness and health. We're talking about going in a gym to train to become a better footballer. Well, guess what? That brain has got to be concentrating on what it's got to do out on the football field. And that mind has got to be seeing everything, hearing, understanding, thoughtful. No, there's none of that. It's junk. And they believe that they're making something happen. I tell you what they are making. They're making happen injuries because of lack of knowledge. Yeah.
So maybe just the player that you saw that really got the maximum out of their potential.
Name a player.
Yeah, the maximum out of their potential. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, there's one absolute and utter, the master. It's called Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes. I've gone on about Paul forever. Because it's all right seeing all these guys who are great, who've had this and that and the other. But you've got Paul Scholes there. If you look at him from a fitness point of view, he was not strong, he was not fast, and he didn't have good endurance capacity. But this is where we go back now into what you said about concentration. Because although Paul Scholes didn't have them, he developed the things appertaining to them that were perfect for football. Not scientific, what we put in our computers to say how they're stronger, faster, or whatever. It's what goes into the player that plays the football that's important. And how you assess that is by watching, not by what your stats say on your computer. So when you see Paul Scholes do a movement in, milliseconds, that's what makes him ahead of everybody else, because he didn't have this strength or this speed or power or whatever. But his brain cognition, his awareness, his vision, etc., was so way above everybody else's because he knew he couldn't compete with that. So he could compete in an area that he could become the best in the world. And that's what he became, because he was in central midfield, etc. He could see everything, knew everything that was going on, and was able to apply himself to the task of playing football. The amount of work Paul did do, quite a lot in the gym, but it had to be of a certain type to make sure it was perfect for him. All stuff done in these gyms now, in football clubs, are all the same for everybody else. It's the same for every one of them. Oh, yeah, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. And it's the same from all. They have no idea how to look at a player, thinking about football, thinking about what you said, brain cognition, thinking, awareness, and put the right things into their routine so that they can proliferate as a footballer. I must emphasize. Have you emphasized that there?
Yes, yeah. Always you have. No, that's so true. And just the last piece about Ruud Van Nistelrooy, because I love this story, just like he sort of changed your mindset on players, or you'd mentioned before.
Yeah, Ruud Van Nistelrooy was completely different again, because Ruud did have speed and strength and power, etc. But it was his ability in the 18-yard box to be able to score goals out of nothing. His concentration, his mind was incredibly different than everybody else's. And it's that I wanted to discover, that why I went to Montreal University with a neuroscientist and did all my brain work, trying to understand what the brain does, how it does it. You know what I mean? And that's where I formulated all my routines now to be for the athlete that needs whatever he needs for his sport. Ruud is the one who I use now. I was so fortunate that about 6 weeks ago, Ruud come to see me. He come to see me at my gym, which I was just so pleased that he wanted to do that, because I've not seen him for 20 years. He comes down, he was the same lad, but far more mature. But he'd gone through the process, you see. He'd gone through the process of this, become a great player, then stop playing, and then he became a coach. Guess who he became the coach for? The Flaming First team? No, the kids. The 10-year-olds, and then the 12-year-olds, then the 15-year-olds, then the 18-year-olds, then the under-21s. He went across the board. He didn't think, I've got my certificate, let's run and do the first team, because I know it all. No, he built everything in the way it should be done, built an understanding, worked with the physios, worked with the people that were in and around football, listening all the time to different opinions so you understand. And then he become a first team coach. And he is a fantastic guy. Now, things are not quite going right at the moment as they were, but as we know from what he did at United, it was incredible because they were going through a real bad patch. Now he's got another problem to solve, and I'm sure he will, because he is a terrific guy. And his brain is just the same as it was before. But obviously, it's a different flaming game now. He's a manager. He's not actually playing himself. He probably wishes he was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Ruud was the one who influenced me to really look into the brain and what it does and how it should be done and the way to train, etc.
Yeah. No, perfect, Mick. Look, thanks so much for this. I think concentration definitely the key area that we focused on today. So we will catch up soon.
Right. Great, Gary. Really nice to speak to you again.